My favorite deck of all time, Esper Pio, has 2 feet into the grave. I'm going to have to find myself a new paper vintage deck. Time to check in to my old brew and our monthly Oath check-in. Oath and Tell coming right at you. Okay, welcome back, vintage gamers. It is time for your monthly Justin checks in on Oath to see how Oath is doing. I do think it's kind of likely that some kind of Oath deck will become my new paper deck, just because I think PO is pretty much dead in the water. I mean, I know you can play Jewel Shops, but I actually don't own Mishra's Workshops, so for paper Magic, I would have to borrow them, and I would rather not. So this is going to be a version of Jewel that we're going to test tonight. Not Jewel. Sorry. This is gonna be a version of Oath that we're gonna test tonight. It is similar to my original Show and Tell Oath build, the one that No Props is pretty popularized recently. But I don't actually think you need all the Show and Tells. Show and Tell is a high variance card that can lead to some not ideal situations, especially with things like Coveted Jewel existing and a bunch of stuff along that vein where people, have Bolas Citadels and other kind of things like that in their deck. I have really liked 4 Atraxa in Oath because you don't have to play Gaia's Blessing. These things always pitch to all the forces, and it lets you play things like Flash and Show and Tell as one-ofs that we can tutor for instead. So basically, I took the Show and Tell Oath lists, I made some tweaks, and then I'm going to play a variety of other cards in the Show and Tell slots. I have got like a Negation in here, a Vigor. I don't really like Narset in Oath. I'm trying out one Null Rod that we can tutor for. There's a Dress Down, a Tear Asunder, which can actually exile the one ring, which would be pretty cool. And then I trimmed down on the artifacts. So like there's no Volt Key, there's no Sensei's Top, there's no Soul Ring, and that's so I can facilitate very easily 4 Null Rods. I think 4 Null Rods are very important right now, and I don't want to be playing a bunch of artifacts in my deck that I want to play Null Rods in. Obviously, we have to play some number of artifacts so that you can play Tinker, which I think is worthwhile. But like, I don't want to have like all of the utility artifacts. So I am playing 2 Besagus. I think you could theoretically like cut 1 Besaju or play a Strip Mine or something. But I do think Besaju is very important to get off of Atraxa, to find off your Atraxa trigger to like answer things like Caracas and that kind of thing. Yeah, so that's basically it. Everything else is pretty standard. I did, to be fair, I did make the original Show and Tell list that people, built off of and popularized. So it's all pretty similar to my initial thoughts. People made some tweaks that, I kept some of the tweaks and I discarded other ones. And this is what we're going to try out tonight. It could be that you can't play this 4 Atraxa with only 1 Show and Tell, 1 Flash. But my initial assumption is we can, especially with having access to Vampiric, Demonic, and Mystical. I do think Oko is actually a lot better right now than it was the last time we played Oath, and the reason is the One Ring. Oko is one of the best answers for the One Ring. I have this card in just to test it. It's a generic answer to One Ring and Saga, but you can also kick this and just hit like creatures and stuff, so that could be pretty interesting as well. So let's try this. See you in a prelim that's happening right now. If you'd like to see your deck played on this channel, check out the Patreon link in the description below where you can find all the information you need to submit a donation deck list. Let's battle. Okay, here we go. Round 1, we're up against Nammer. Nammer's got quite the range. The last deck they played was the Jewel deck. I think without a Force, I'm not super interested in just taking like turn 2 Flash. I think we're going to look for something better than this. That definitely qualifies as something better. We do have the very powerful Null Rod Black Lotus combination gaming. Don't have a Force, which I was really hoping to find, but I think this is going to be a keeper, and we'll just put back this Atraxa, though I guess I theoretically could keep the Atraxa, Mystical for Show and Tell, and just Show and Tell, in which case I would put back Tinker, I assume. Which just feels like weird, but I don't have a Moxen to Tinker. I have a Null Rod I can Tinker, but that's going to be at least a few turns off. Unless, of course, I draw a Moxen for the top of the library. That would just let us Tinker right away. Maybe the answer is we don't know what their opponent's on, so we get rid of Null Rod or Tear Asunder. Let's just get rid of Terrace Under and jam with this. This hand has quite a few weaknesses, but I think it's at an adequate power level. Oh, we have switched to Bazaar. So Terrace Under would have been able to kill a Hollow One, and Null Rod really does nothing here. But the good news is Tinker is only okay. If we show Intelligent Tracks, so that would be the best. It looks like we're not going to get to do that because our opponent is on Dredge, and we're getting griefed. So yeah, it is a prelim, so always there are Bazaar gamers. I do like our deck quite a lot against Dredge, though this hand I don't think is very good against Dredge. We could theoretically draw some good cards, but we might not have time. They discarded a second Bazaar. I assume that means they have second piece of interaction, right? They probably have Forcible blue card, Grief black card, Dredger. We took the Black Lotus, which makes the most sense. Oh, they have Hollow One. Double Hollow One. Ah. I see. Okay. So we need help. What is a sequence of plays here that can get us out of this game? Not having Black Lotus is going to make this challenging. Maybe the best play is simply to ponder and try to hit our land drop and then Mystical Ancestral. We can try to get to Tinker, but I mean, we don't have a Sphinx in our main. So the only thing we're really tinkering for is Citadel, and we're not going to have a lot of life to use on our Citadel because my opponent had double Hollow One. I mean, we are just super far behind because of the grief. And I'm not even sure an Oath is going to be fast enough. Flash, Force, Oko, but no land, so I can't even keep this anyways. Like, a Flash is not even that bad here, but... Alright, well, we are just so dead. I don't even think we have any outs anymore. If we just miss on our Mystical, that means we can't even use our Mystical. Yeah, it just looks doomed. Grief was so good. I've been telling people, Grief is super strong right now. Also, they hit the Creeping Chill, so we are even super lethal here. Yeah, I have to draw Ancestral into, okay. All right, so Dredge, that's why I said our opponent has quite the range. It's very hard to pick a hand that does something very specific. The good news is I think our deck is quite good against Dredge. We've got Tabernacle, Sphinx, Leyline. And then we can take out Citadel, Null Rod, Tear Asunder, Dress Down, Negation, Misstep. Plenty of bad cards in this matchup. And then we can consider whether we want to bring in any amount of cards that deal with Hollow One. I think just having a singleton Force of Vigor plus Okos is totally enough. So this is, I mean, this is more than enough cards to be very good against Dredge. See what happens. Just looking for early Oaths, early Ley Lines, Forces. Yeah, keep. One of the problems with Leyline and Oath is that it does expose your Oath of Druids a little bit to getting double vigored. But I think the power of Leyline is unmatched. All right, I am getting griefed. Do I want to protect anything? No, I think we just get griefed. I assume they just take Force of Will so they can get a Vigor to go through. Oh, they took Tinker, so that means they don't have Vigor yet, I assume. Oh, I guess that also turns off Force of Will for Vigor, because if they have Vigor exactly right now, I don't have a blue card anymore. Okay, that's even better then. So they just need to find a Vigor and Vigor me in my upkeep. So that would be pretty bad. Also, any hollow ones are quite good as well, even though we do have a Vigor hard cast coming maybe in the future. If my opponent whiffs on Vigor and we draw blue card, I think we're in a great spot. If they find Vigor, at least they're incentivized to use it in their... Oh, they just double griefed. So this will probably take Vigor then, right? So they have a hollow one as their last card. Okay, cool. All right, so we just have to beat a hollow one. Just need to find an Oath of Druids, or yeah, a Boseiju works. I could theoretically leave the hollow one, and just that way, I think we just. It's kind of interesting. If I leave the hollow one, my Oath is turned on. I could just like hit Bazaar. I don't know if that's actually good because my opponent doesn't have any card advantage with Bazaar right now. I guess I don't have to immediately make this decision, but I do want to use my mana efficiently. They have 0 cards in hands right now. I don't think I'm going to immediately make this decision. Like, the Bazaar currently doesn't do anything for at least this turn. And I don't have to draw, an Oko or a Forbidden Orchard to turn on my Oath of Druids, which would be really nice. I can take 4 life. Yeah. I'm just gonna hit this hollow one. All right, so now they go up to 2 cards. They still don't activate because they want to try to find a Vigor. So they're probably going to wait till their 3rd card, and then they'll activate looking for green card Vigor. I might even be able to get to Force of Will by then, which will be nice. That's definitely an upside. The other problem, if I like hold up Boseiju and I draw a card that costs mana, then I can't use my Boseiju, right? The situation I wouldn't eventually Boseiju it is if I draw Oath of Druids, right? Maybe I'm supposed to get second. All right, so now we get to hold up Force and we can vamp for, I don't know, something. Face cam off. I don't think it is. What? Hello? All right, so they're going to try to go up to 4, down to 3. Found a hollow one. This lets me vamp for Oath of Druids. I think that's like bad. I mean, Tinker's in my graveyard, so I can't Tinker. I could go Yogwill Tinker, I guess. Maybe that's just the play. So if I force this, I can't go Yogwill Tinker. Another problem is if I vamp for like a Yogwill Tinker line and they Vigor one of my artifacts, that doesn't matter. If they have like Force of Will, it's pretty bad. Like, what am I vamping for? Am I just vamping for Ancestral? Am I vamping for Oko? I think I'm just interested in forcing this. This is like a really nice line against if they have like Force Blue card as their last 2 cards as well. I think I'm just gonna go for Ancestral. Maybe this is like too risk averse, but I guess I could have Misstep as their last card or Negation blue card. Both. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need a Forbidden Orchard and another, just a Forbidden Orchard. Is playing this Oath good? I don't think so. Don't want to get Vigored. Yeah, I just need an Orchard to hardcast this Atraxa. Lusterstorm is quite good, though. I think we will cast this now. The Flusterstorm can get griefed, but I guess this also I can trigger their oath. The oath can trigger or whatever, but this seems fine. Chalice, Narcomoeba, chill. Why play out oath though? Because it means that they can't play a hollow one. Right, I'm not gonna play this on my turn. It's just using my mana. Like I want to be able to play Atraxa. Like I don't care if I trigger their the oath with Atraxa or whatever. Leyline Probonder. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. No, I did not have enough mana to do such a thing. Shell. Okay, so that's gotta be game. All right, so there's an Orchard, Lotus, an Oko. Guess that's just fine. All right. Even my opponent finds Vigor. I have Fluster, so and I'm gonna get an Oath trigger, so they just can't really win from here. I'm not sure I played that optimally. I played it very risk averse, which is a way you can play it, but it's not always the correct way to play it, right? All right. So I have a Vigor. I keep drawing the stupid Vigor. I think this hand's bad. Doesn't have turn 1 Oath, doesn't have protection, doesn't have Leyline. We can do better. This has Oath Tabernacle. It's probably good enough. They kept 7 cards. This hand isn't like amazing by any means, but 6-card hand on the draw, it's probably just fine. Got a grief? Got a grief. Of course. No Dredger this time. Not a great draw. Better to just play this. I guess I theoretically should play this first. It doesn't matter. It won't matter. All right. Opponent activate. Hit a Stinkweed Imp. Gonna probably bring back their Grief. Or I would bring back Icarid pitching Grief. All right, they missed on a Dredger on that one as well, but they have double Icarid. I think we're gonna lose this game. Unless we draw something good on this turn. Second Bazaar, of course. 7 cards, 2 Bazaars. Yeah, we're super doomed in this game. So dead. Yeah, opponent's hand is like so much better than ours, unfortunately. I don't think I'm ever mulliganing my hand. It just didn't work out. We're super dead here. They're going to dredge their whole deck. We can't even draw Tinker, which was our best out. Really, really, truly disgusting. Oh well. Like I said, I think this is one of our better matchups. Probably one of our best matchups. But we just did not have a hand that matched up in game 1. And then they kept 7 in game 3. All right, so we have outs, of course, because we are playing the Ancestral Recall deck. We can draw into Ancestral into like Time Walk Oath with like a Moxen or something. We could show and tell a Sphinx, but I'm not sure Sphinx gets it done here. We drew Time Walk. I mean, we are not going to take any damage from any of these units. It'll just be Icarids. There's 9 power of Icarids in their yard. And there are 4 Creeping Chills left. Unless they boarded out all their Creeping Chills. Oh, no, there are 3 Creeping Chills left. That's not good. All right, so... Trop. Time Walk. Technically can cast this Sphinx off a Lotus. Can drop Brainstorm as well. Can draw Forbidden Orchard as well. Yeah, I mean, we're going to see if they have all the chills in their deck, but... Yeah, I mean, we drew, what, 3 lands in this game and a Sphinx, so... What are we going to do? We bottomed a land at the start of this game as well. There are too many lands in this deck. There's, I guess, if you don't count Passaggio as a land, it's like 15 lands, which is fine. A little high. Here's a chill. They need a second chill. They have 5 cards left in their deck. What if they boarded out 2 chills? You are very much misevaluating how much time we have left in this game. It's somewhere between 0 and 1 turns. Okay, they have all the chills. So they just dredged 5 in their draw step, 0 cards. So if I had drawn Ancestral, I could have actually used it to target them. Because they didn't, they had to go so deep for the chills, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, we just drew no cards that really mattered and died, which this deck can definitely do. Wow, we were not going to have a good time. Rough start. In classic Justin fashion, I have tried to make content and instead have gotten the bye. See you for round 3. Okay, here we go, round 3, and now we get to play against Dredge. Awesome. On the play this time. Man, if this Terrace Under was a show and tell, we would have snapped off this key. Okay, so maybe I made some poor deck building decisions. Maybe I made some poor deck building decisions because if this Terrace Under was a show and tell, this hand would be very good. I would have turn 1 Atraxa with Flusterstorm backup. Damn. Okay. I think I have to mulligan this, so. I mean, this hand's pretty good, too. This hand, these cards are definitely better than... Well, the problem is my opponent's probably on Dredge, right? So they're not exactly better, but... Yeah, it's because you're losing. If you were winning, you would say it's the best format. I know how you work, Slasher. I understand your logic. I'm here. If you were 2-0, you'd be like, Vintage is actually great. Whoa! It's not Dredge! I mean, we do look super dead, but we got the mirror. This is great. I want to board out oaths and show and tells in the mirror, so. Perfect. They're just gaming, right? I have Terra Sunder for Oath of Druids. Show and tell? Should we vamp for something? If we were to vamp for something for Atraxa, what would we do? We don't have a Caracas, right? So all we can do is we could vamp for an Oko. It feels like it's probably better to not vamp. They're going to have forced backup, probably. That's going to be a problem. I don't know. It doesn't really feel like it makes sense to vamp. Well, I don't need to do that, right? I have I can kill an Oath if I need to. It feels like an Oko is the best card, but Oko is going to get forced unless I hit Force and Oko, right? And I'm just going to... I think I'm just going to let this go. Atraxa. we should get a picture of this. We need the Spider-Man meme. Let's get that. I'll do that later. All right, who gets it first? I get it first. Bro, we didn't hit a force. We didn't hit a force. All right, so we get an Oath, a Ruby, an Orchard, a Flusterstorm. Wait, maybe we get Dress Down, not an Oath. I don't need an Oath. A Dress Down. An Underground Sea. No, a fetch land. No, I can't get a fetch. I have to get an Orchard. So I can get a sorcery. It's probably Tinker. So I have Tinker, Ruby, Orchard, Fluster, Dress Down. Done. Now it's theirs. Okay. Resolve. Okay. The problem is my opponent has double force now, right? Or they might take Ancestral. They're only going to get Artifact, Land, Sorcery instant here. Man, we really need to hit Force. Maybe I just vamp for Force at end of turn. And then we'll go for Tinker with Force backup. If they don't take their own Force. Oh, but then if they take their Ancestral, then maybe they just take Fluster. Oh, no. This mirror is very, very odd. It is definitely a weird game of Magic. Like, Oath mirrors are always pretty awkward, but this one in particular, with the 4 Atraxas and 4 show and the show and tells and stuff, super odd. Okay, so my opponent chose Ancestral Probe top C. So no Fluster, no this, no this, no this, no this, no this, and no this. Okay, so that's super fine. The problem now is if I vamp end step, they get to resolve Ancestral, but then they'll overdraw, right? So that's fine. They should have probably taken Mox, not top. Vamp for Caracas. Yeah, I would definitely make that play if I had a Caracas in my deck. A good call. A good call. A strong play. Maybe in paper you could do that. Vamp for a Caracas out of your binder. Possible play. I kind of like the Oath Mirror, actually. I don't know. I don't mind it. I think it'll be an interesting game. Technically, this actually can just kill Atraxa. Wow, that's kind of sweet. So I could take this opportunity and no, I'm just gonna let them do whatever they want. Well, yeah, that's why I've stopped playing the show and tells. Like I have one show and tell in my deck. I don't think show and tell is a good card. It's very good, but it's very high variance. All right, if my opponent resolves Ancestral Recall here, like I don't care, right? So I'm down to just vamp for a force. This doesn't matter, right? They're just gonna super overdraw. Maybe that's fun. Maybe that's good for them. I don't know. I guess they have so many bad cards. Maybe it's just fine. But then they're tapped out. I kind of like that. I mean, if they force my Vampiric, that's also fine, right? Like, I don't care if they force my Vampiric. If they force my Vampiric, I'm more than happy. They're just going to overdraw and, like, discard, like, they're going to force it? Sure. They force pitching Tinker. Tell me this isn't amazing for me. It's super good. This sequence went really, really well. And they're still discarding a card. It's going to be a land. Oath, sure. So I don't have my Tinker back up here. Oh, I do have Flash Atraxa, though. Holy moly. All right. So attack. Maybe attacking doesn't matter. I don't have an Oko, so attacking makes sense. Sure. Should I just wait on this flash? No. No, I should just jam this flash. All right. What do I have of this Atraxa? Force. Seiju. Lotus. Oh, it's so easy, man. Lotus. Atraxa Show and Tell. This game's over. Done. Lotus Tinker. Oh, I'm not show and telling here. I'm just gonna get my Bolas' Citadel in play. Mother. Bolas' Citadel is the worst Magic card. No, it's fine. We're passing with Force Flusterstorm. Like, what are they gonna really do here? Realistically. You know, that makes sense. All right. That's fine. We just get to shuffle a land away. It's pretty good value. Okay, this is okay. Now we might be show and telling. All right, well. I hope they don't have another Atraxa. Shit. Need to hit a Mox. I guess that's fine if we just hit a Mox. I missed no, I hit a Mox. It's free. It's free. It's free. It's free. It's free. No, I have an Orchard. What am I talking about? That card doesn't do anything. All right. I also have Mox, Besiju, Force, Oko, Time Walk. The game is over. The game is over. Tell me this game wasn't a banger. I think our deck is very well positioned for the mirror, for what it's worth. I don't need another Atraxa. What do I need? Nothing, right? I could even trigger their oath and get a new Atraxa if I wanted. Don't think I want, considering I don't have any Atraxas left. Just pass with everything up. Yeah. How are they beating this? They're not, right? I drew like half my deck. Why is my deck well positioned for the mirror? Because I cut the show and tells. I cut 3 show and tells and have like Tear Asunder, Vigor, Negation. Null Rod. I'm not even playing Vault Key, which is really bad in the mirror as well. I also have this card. This card looks great. I can kill an Atraxa with this. I can besage you a Forbidden Orchard, or even just hit the Oath if I really want to. Probably just hit the Oath if I actually need to. I have so much. I do think I hit a bit. Well, the first Atraxa didn't find me a Force, but I think my opponent like Ancestraling and forcing my Vamp was like a little sus. Oko. Noko. Oh, yeah. It's 2 free. You got it, homie. I could get 1 extra turn on this clock by playing an Oko and attacking. That's not even good. Like, even if they did, like, Flash, I have Dress Down, like... I should read Flash, actually. Okay, it doesn't give the creature sack or whatever, so we're fine. Time Walk? Don't care. We have infinite cards in hand. Our opponent played Show and Tell so that we could put our tracks into play and win. It was a great game for us. I really want to tear something asunder. It kind of sounds like a great time to me. Put them back wrong. Sure. It's okay. You have a top. It's fixable. Get in for 1. Nice. This is an instant, huh? Hype. Green. Top. Dead time, chat. Dead game time. Oh, we're drawing. Orchard. And Oath? Oko? Oh, sure. So if they attack here, I actually win with Oko. Oh, they didn't attack this time. All right, so let's just make a thing. And then just besiege you their orchard. Not that that matters anyways. We're just going to win through it, so they shuffle, they lose their top. Oh my god, it costs one less because Atraxa. I feel like that's the thing. I feel like I have never ever remembered that Beseiju costs one less. I don't believe I've ever remembered. So post board, we're gonna go down to one oath, one show, probably. I can just kill a token and win. Yeah, I guess we could do that. What could go wrong? I don't think anything can go wrong. I'll just go to the next turn. You're definitely correct, but I just don't see the reason. Can't make me tap mana. No place, no chance. Oh, they left the top on top. Enough. I've had enough. We go next. All right. So if I had 4 show and tell and 4 oath, I would probably do something different. But for this, I'm going to board out not all of my oaths because I can 2 different oath when it makes sense. But I'm going to board out 3 oaths because you never want to be the person to play the oath in the oath mirror, especially if you're not ahead on orchards. But there are times where you do want an oath, so I like keeping a singleton oath. I'm going to bring in Mindbreak Trap. I am going to bring in Null Rods, Vigors, Sphinx. I don't know. None of my cards are particularly good. Let's go quickly look at the list that they copied. I believe it should be on Time Vault Key. Let's go take a quick peek. Narset, Fluster. Oh, no Vault Key. So what are they going to bring in? They have null rods too. We're just going to be sitting here doing nothing. So they do have a Narset, which I think is quite good here. As long as there's no bad orchard tokens stopping it. They have 2 negations and a trap. I have 1 negation and trap. So I don't think there's any reason to bring in multiple null rods because my opponent doesn't have vault key. So let me bring, I don't want to bring in Sphinx. Well, the chance of Oath of Druidsing seems kind of low. So I think we'll bring in Sphinx and a second Vigor. Seems fine. Let's try this. We do have a Terrace Under though, so We have our one show and tell. And we have Time Walk Orchard Fluster. This is probably a keep. Uh-oh. Are we show and telling again? Oh no. That's a very good turn one when I don't have Force of Will. I think we're just gonna lose to that. Don't exactly know how we beat that on turn one with no Force of Will. It's pretty hard to have turn one Oko, but it's definitely doable. I think I actually have to save this Time Walk. Well, I guess I have a Yogwill, so I guess I don't have to save this Time Walk. Any needle? No, I don't have anything. I have a Terrace Under. It's gonna be quite hard, I think. So if we hit Black Lotus off Show and Tell Atraxa, we could Time Walk. Is that worth gaming for? I think so. I think like this turn one Oko is like hard enough for me to deal with that I'm down to game. Oh, they just have Force. I guess that could happen too. So they had turn one Oko off Lotus with Force backup. Okay. If we draw Black Lotus, we can still do like Black Lotus, Yogwill, Show and Tell Time Walk again. We do need to draw really well. We could technically draw like Demonic Orchard as well. It looks pretty bad though. Like I said, I think that's probably the best card in the matchup. It's even better if I have an Oko because they don't have a Terrace Under in their list. But yeah, we're going to get beat down by Elks here. We still have outs, but we're running out of time now. Yeah. Technically not dead on this attack, which makes me want to not Yogwill. Do one more turn. They only have 2 cards in hand. So now I actually don't kill Oko in one shot. But Atraxa should stabilize me enough. How close are we to a casting? 1, 2, 3, 4. Casting doesn't save us anymore because the elk, and I'm not high enough life total. Sage you. Okay, so Yogg will show and tell. They have to have nothing. We can hit Black Lotus walk. Does it make sense to just play Besage instead of fetching? It could matter. I guess there's going to be a million Orchard tokens too. Could be a problem. All right, I think we don't have very many plays anymore. Obviously, if our opponent has any piece of anything, we do lose. Definitely think it's better to show and tell than to cast Time Walk. I think we have a lot higher chance of winning this game if my opponent has like 2 lands in hand and we have an Atraxa. If they have an Atraxa, obviously we're doomed. They don't have an Atraxa. Okay, so we need to hit Black Lotus to start. We did not hit Black Lotus, but we did hit Petal Ancestral. Okay, so Petal, Ancestral, Oath, Ponder, Land. Do I want a second Atraxa in my hand? Another Atraxa in my hand? Yeah, probably. Okay, done. All right, again, we still need to hit exactly Black Lotus. Hit Black Lotus. Holy shit, okay. So now I can demonic tear asunder. Are we going to have enough? I would take demonic Oko, right? Well, if I demonic tear asunder, it's going to cost all but one of my mana. They're going to have 6. Sorry, they'll have 5, 8. But we'll be at 10. We'll want the Oko after. I don't think there's a better card, right? That's our best card. I guess technically we could flash or tinker for a Sphinx. Whoa, tinker for a Sphinx is kind of interesting as well. Tinker for a Sphinx, they have to have a Beseiju. They would get to Oko. They would get to Elk my Oko, though. Or sorry, Elk my Atraxa. I guess if they have second Oko, do we die? I don't think so. Tinker for Sphinx is quite an intriguing line. I just don't know how we beat the Oko then. I guess we attack the Oko once, and then they Elk my Atraxa, and then we attack the Oko with the Sphinx. I don't know if that's better than just getting rid of the... It might be. Might be. And we could technically just play a new Atraxa if we deal with the Oko. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Black, white, green, blue. Oh, but we lose our Pearl from Tinker. I need to pay 4 mana for Terra Sunder for what it's worth. Okay, I'm gonna go Terra Sunder. I think tinkering this Pearl is actually like super bad. And then I'm gonna tear asunder this Oko in their on their turn, so they can't attack with the Orchard tokens if they have second Oko. Wait, is this Tear Asunder gonna just solo win the mirror? That'd be kind of sick. Cast with kicker on this. Green, green, black, black. Tear Asunder kicked your Oko with 10 counters. All right. Blue, blue, time walk. Okay. That's a good sign. That is a good sign. Blue. Ancestral. If I fluster this, they would need to have land Oko. But I could also hold Fluster and Fluster a show and tell. But I have my own Oko and an Atraxa for a show and tell. So I could like get a Force of Will and play an Oko and Oko their Atraxa. Okay, I'm gonna just Fluster this to make them use mana. God, imagine if they go like land Yogwill, Lotus Ancestral Time Walk. Holy shit, Terrace Under Exiles? I knew that because I put it in my deck to kill the ring. Mox go? Okay. Null Rod. Okay. I don't want to play the Oko because if they attack all and kill the Oko and I can't beat another Atraxa, I don't want to play an Atraxa. So maybe we just want a Null Rod. No, I don't want to give them more spirits, maybe. Oh, they're going to gain, sure. Like if I guess they won't have enough that they could like elk it and kill me, right? I just got my Null Rod Mox Invigored. Okay, fair enough. Brainstorm. I just got a lol in chat. I don't know what that means. The hand is 3 Misties. Woo. GG's. Oh, 3 Atraxas. I also have 3 Atraxas. So if I draw 10, I would draw a Force. Yeah, maybe I am just supposed to jam an Atraxa there then. I didn't think I would lose my mana, but that makes sense. I do that, and they have 9 tokens, 12 power. They can only swing for 12 out of 17. So, yeah, I should just hard cast there for sure. That was not as good. Here we go. 4th and final round of this vintage prelim. We are playing against Slasher, who should be on Initiative Tinker. I have turn 1 Naked Oath, and then no other cards in my hand that matter. That's probably not good enough. I mulligan, and I have no mana, Citadel, Flash, Tear Asunder. All right, I will go to 5, I guess. Okay, that's my best hand by a large margin. I'll put away Seiju and this. Probe. 6 card hand from the opponent. I'm just going to go for Ancestral on their upkeep. I don't think waiting is good, seeing as my opponent has a probe, so I'll make him have a fluster now. Force. Do I want Oko or Mystical? Oko. All right, I have a Resolved Ancestral, Time Walk, Atraxa, Saga Gaming. Maybe I should have kept that Beseiju, huh? Yeah, don't tell me. I mean, I know what deck they're playing though, so it's fine. They copied a list. Time Walk. If I hit, maybe I should have kept that Beseiju instead of the second blue source. I thought the blue source was like kind of interesting, but do I want to save this Lotus for Atraxa, or do I want to like go Lotus Oko Time Walk here? I want to save it. I mean, my opponent's out of. I guess I don't have a white sword. No, I have a white sword. Like my opponent is out of counter magic, right? So there's like a lot of value in going for Atraxa. Mox is good here. Oh, what is this? Tinker? Yeah, you got it. Hopefully they brick. Slasher's so fucking whitelisted, man. It's crazy. All right. And then they get to get a top off of this. It's unbelievable how whitelisted Slasher is. It's crazy. Like this deck has so many bricks in. It has like 4 Mind Break traps, which you have to pay 4 life for. It's got a pile of White Plume Adventurers. It's got like 4 Flusterstorm. Like the deck is just terrible at using Citadel. Oops, hit Time Walk. Just gross. It's got Swords to Plowshares. It's got Flusterstorms. It has Echoing Truth. I mean, I guess Echoing Truth hits my Oko, but like, who cares? 16 lands. Mental Misstep. Well, I'm going to make him play it out because I don't really have a lot of faith in opponent's deck using Top and Citadel to actually win. Like, he has to find exactly Vault Key, right? So this should probably just find Key and then just try to use your rest of your life to find Vault, I assume. Get on Slasher's level. Yeah, I guess so. Ten life. Nine life. The bad part about this is they're probably going to have a force after all this, even if it doesn't work out. The good news is I can like either Elk the Citadel or Elk an attack, depending on how low they go and what cards they play. Arsa. But it's probably unlikely that we're going to get a turn. I hope they would be able to find something. If they go any lower and don't find anything, they do get attacked and killed. Just a White Plume? Sure. I could give them a food and take the white bloom. All right, they're at 3. Snap time walk. That shot should probably do it. Five, 7. Okay, that does it with Citadel activation. Classic slasher. So what do we want against this deck? 4 Saga, Vault Key, and then the rest is just Esper Tinker cards with Mindbreak Trap. I feel like Vigor is good. I feel like some Null Rods are good. And Mindbreak Trap's definitely good. Dress Down's definitely good. I feel like I hate the idea of Tinker here. I have no idea how I'm going to cut cards. All my cards are so good against them. What are they boarding? They have Containment Priest in their sideboard. Damn. And Knights of Infamy? That's interesting. So it's Containment Priest. So I care enough to bring in Dismember. Yeah, I guess they have White Plumes. It's fine. Then how am I gonna fit these cards? I guess we can't play 4 Vigors. We have to play some Vigors, maybe. We should play 1 Null Rod. How do they beat a Null Rod? They just don't have any answers to Null Rod. They have to counter it on the stack. Oh, they have Echoing Truth. Right. Of course. I forgot. Echoing Truth. Shouldn't need this island here. And then we took Tinker out, so we can just get rid of this Mana Crypt as well. Let's run like this. That seems fine. It's always hard to board against the Initiative Tinker deck because it's just a pile of nonsense. It's not really coherent. So your targeted hate is kind of hard to utilize. This hand just doesn't do anything powerful. Doesn't have a force. Doesn't have an oath. Doesn't have anything. This hand at least has counter magic. Probably just going to put a bottom of land and go with 2 mana pass. This deck does mulligan a lot. Though it doesn't have a lot of card draw on it, so kind of crazy. Keep. Drop. Slasher mold to 5. I also need to make sure I play around trap. My opponent's on like 4 Mindbreak traps. Opponent kept 5. Crypt. It's a good 5. Vault. I have to freaking force vault. I'm gonna lose to Saga tokens, right? Like, I have to force time vault. Pass? Damn. Sucks to be me. I'll hold it. Got my win condition in play. I mean, I have dressed down for Saga tokens. It was more if they played a Saga, I would just get murdered by Volt Key. Sapphire. So now if I play my Beseiju out, I have Hardcast Dress Down. Oh, sorry, Hardcast Mindbreak Trap. But I think that's actually worse than having the option to Beseiju like a Tinker or a... Well, now I'm going to pay for my mistake. And I'm not going to be able to counter the Ancestral with my Mindbreak Trap. All right, fair enough. You got it. Shit. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I don't think that's a play I'm interested in making. My opponent has lost their first flip. Hmm. We're gonna like sit here, do nothing, and then lose to a Saga token, right? Arset. They can untap their Sapphire and Flusterstorm this, which is really unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yeah. Oh, they just have Force. Pitching Mental Misstep. Sure. I just have not. Like, the only thing I could have done this game is play my Beseiju out so I could Mindbreak Trap there. I guess I could have done the other line where I do the thing with the Beseiju their mocks, but I really didn't like that line. What'd they find off of Narset? They found nothing off of Narset because their deck is full of creatures. Amen. Oh, man. It is just a terrible pile that gets away with winning because it has the broken blue cards in the deck. How can no one else see this? Like, how can no one see this but me? I swear. It's crazy. Maybe it's because I spent so long playing a bad Tinker deck with PO, so I understand. Lost a flip. We still have that out. The win con is still in play. It's okay. This time, surely the Narset will hit. All right, hit Force of Will this time. There we go. I gotta... I guess Time Vault's in their yard, so I can't even like Beseiju Vault Key. I'm not cycling the strats down because I don't want to lose to Saga tokens. Not that I'm going to be able to resolve a Saga token anyways. This is a Hull Reacher. Oh, this is Snapcaster Mage. All right, well. That's my draw for turn, but at least they don't get an Ancestral. I do need to race the Snapcaster Mage still. I need some not slasher luck on this crypt flip. No. I don't believe... Yeah. All right. Well, I have Beseiju for that. Oh, they drew the white plume. All right. I need a lot of help. Unfortunately, they have a Force in their hand too, so it's pretty doomed. They only have one other card. I don't know if it's a blue card or not. So Atraxa or Oath are both good draws here. I don't know, man. What's a guy supposed to do? So this is 5-7. I don't think Oath is even good enough anymore, right? No, because I take 7. The show and tell doesn't do anything, or I top decking an Oath at this point doesn't even matter. So I need show and tell. Atraxa is actually my only out anymore. They have hard cast force though, right? So it just doesn't matter. So maybe I just have to. Frustrating games. Very frustrating games. Just didn't do any of my deck's powerful things while my opponent top decked, or not top decked, but had Ancestral Tinker. Very frustrating. I think they lost like a normal number of crypt flips too, so don't think that mattered very much. We just played no spells that mattered in this entire game. Awesome. Like if we play an early Oath, they can't even play creatures. Oh, I knew that they were on Init. I mean, that was pretty obvious. Slasher thinks this deck's playable. Anyways, my deck is probably not playable. That's unfortunate. So the only thing I really learned was Terrace Under's sweet, and cutting show and tell is probably bad. So that's kind of the takeaway I have from this event. Is I don't think I'm allowed to cut the show and tells that I thought I was allowed to cut. We just don't have enough action in our deck. Just too much air to draw into. I really hate 17 lands. Like, I understand why you want to play 2 Boseiju, because you really want to be able to get Boseiju off of Atraxa to kill like Karakas and stuff. But it's probably too many lands. But Terrace Under was sweet, but the other things were awkward. I really don't want this to be my deck moving forward in paper, because it is just such a high roll, high variance deck. Like, you really truly need to hit these like Mox, Orchard, Oath hands. And if you don't have those, then your deck just doesn't do anything. And that is like part of the reason why you can't cut the show and tells in this version, is because you're just limiting the number of active draws you have, right? So we need to add these show and tells back. The null rod probably can't be main. The negation probably can't be main. And then the vigor, or I have to choose between vigor and Terrace Under. I really like the Terrace Under, actually. Oh, and there's the dress down as well. The dress down doesn't have to be in the deck anymore if you have all the show and tells, probably. So you could play this vigor Terrace Under version, and that's like cutting what, Narset and something else. And then you probably can't play the full set unless you just are like down 1 vigor, down 1 null rod, something like that. Maybe this makes sense. I'm not really sure. I really dislike the high roll nature of this deck, but it's kind of weird because it's not that dissimilar to playing PO. But for some reason it feels like it's so different to me, in terms of maybe because it's a lot of A plus B combos where PO is just an A combo. Like, PO is just play fast mana, play PO, play Tinker. Whereas this deck is, you have to have Oath and Orchard, or you have to have Show and Tell and Atraxa. Maybe that's the big difference in feel. It's kind of hard to say. But anyways, it was a rough video. Sorry that we got to buy and didn't get to play too much Magic, but this happens. More vintage content Monday, Wednesday, Friday. See you then.